The silver-blue droplet hovered in the containment field, seemingly innocent. Commander Alex Reed watched it with wary eyes, knowing that this innocuous substance had already devastated 3 colony worlds. "Liquid weapons," he murmured. "The most elegant form of destruction humanity has ever encountered." When the Tyranny first unleashed their liquid weapons upon human colonies, no one understood what they were facing. The weapons appeared as harmless droplets, but upon contact with solid matter, they initiated an unstoppable chain reaction that broke down molecular bonds and reconstructed them into toxic compounds. A single drop could transform an entire city into a poisonous wasteland within hours. The Tyranny, with their carapaced exteriors and 6 limbs, had evolved on a world of extreme chemical warfare. To them, liquid weapons were simply an extension of their natural defenses. To humans, they were an existential threat. "Status report," Reed called to his science officer. Lieutenant Thomas looked up from his console. "Containment holding at 99.8% efficiency. The specimen shows no signs of degradation, it's just waiting." Reed nodded grimly. The orbital defense station Hermes had been converted to study the weapons after the fall of New Seattle. 15 million lives lost because one Tyranny scout ship had crashed on the outskirts of the colony. "Admiral Wilson is asking for updates," said Communications Officer Jenna. "Earth Command wants to know if we've made any progress on countermeasures." Reed's jaw tightened. "Tell them we're working on it." The truth was far more grim. After 6 months of study, humanity's best minds had found no defense against the liquid weapons. When released, they reconfigured any matter they encountered into more of themselves, creating a cascade of destruction that only stopped when they ran out of material to convert. The Tyranny fleet had been spotted on the edge of the solar system 3 days ago. Earth had perhaps 2 weeks before they arrived. "Sir," said Thomas suddenly, "I'm detecting an anomaly." Reed moved to his side. "What kind of anomaly?" "Energy readings are off the charts," Thomas replied, his voice shaking. "It's coming from everywhere." The air in the command center shimmered, molecules vibrating at impossible frequencies. A pillar of light coalesced in the center of the room, blinding in its intensity. When it faded, a humanoid figure stood before them. It appeared to be made of flowing crystal, its form constantly shifting like liquid glass. Where its face should be, there was only a swirling vortex of prismatic energy. "Do not be alarmed," the entity said, its voice resonating directly in their minds. "We are the guardians of order and dimensional stability. You may call us gods for simplicity." Reed found himself unable to speak, transfixed by the being's presence. "We have observed your predicament," the crystalline figure continued. "The weapons you face are not merely tools of destruction, but violations of universal law. They destabilize the fabric of reality itself." Thomas looked up from his readings. "Sir, the containment field is interacting with this entity somehow." The God's entity turned toward the containment chamber. "The substances you call liquid weapons are primitive attempts to harness dimensional flux. The Tyranny do not understand what they have created." With a gesture, the being caused the droplet to rise within its field. "These weapons convert matter between dimensional states without proper stabilization protocols. Left unchecked, they would eventually consume not just your worlds, but entire planes of existence." Reed finally found his voice. "Are you saying these weapons threaten you as well?" "All existence is interconnected," the God's being replied. "What threatens one realm eventually endangers all." The entity moved toward the containment field, its crystalline form flowing like water. "We will provide you with the means to neutralize these weapons." A stream of luminescent particles flowed from the being's outstretched appendage, surrounding the silver-blue droplet. The liquid weapon began to lose its cohesion, breaking down into harmless components. "The knowledge to replicate this process has been transferred to your database," the God's entity said. "It is a temporary solution, but it will save your world." "Why help us?" Reed asked. "The Tyranny have violated cosmic laws without understanding. They must be guided, not destroyed." The being's form began to dissolve into motes of light. "We will speak with them directly." Their aggression stems from fear and misunderstanding. As the entity faded, Reed felt a sudden certainty that humanity would survive. 3 weeks later, the Tyranni fleet entered Earth's orbit not as conquerors but as supplicants. Their ambassador, a towering figure with chitinous plates reflecting the conference room lights, bowed deeply before the assembled human representatives. "We come seeking forgiveness," the translator conveyed. "The Eternal Ones have shown us the error of our ways. We did not understand the consequences of our weapons." The Tyranni revealed that the gods had appeared throughout their fleet simultaneously, demonstrating the full implications of their actions. The liquid weapons had been systematically neutralized across all their vessels using the same techniques shared with humanity. 6 months later, human and Tyranni scientists worked side by side in the newly established Dimensional Stability Research Center. The former weapons had been repurposed into revolutionary technology for environmental restoration. Commander Reed, now serving as security chief for the center, often reflected on how close they had come to extinction. The universe, it seemed, had guardians that operated beyond human understanding. The gods had not been seen since their intervention, but their message lingered. Existence was precious, interconnected, and protected by forces beyond comprehension. When the first joint human Tyranni exploration vessel launched the following year, its mission patch bore a simple insignia, a crystalline figure with outstretched arms bridging two worlds previously divided by fear. They named the ship Intervention.